Over the next couple weeks, I want to, in a lot of different ways, ask the question, what's next for Deadlock? Hey everyone, this is Connor here at Dead Unlocked, and today I want to kind of talk again. I've talked a lot about hero leaks and all that. I want this to be one of the last times I talk about it. But I do want to talk about what is next in terms of some Deadlock heroes that people may have forgotten about or have been honestly asking me a lot in the comments of my videos. In particular, I'm talking about the Hero Labs heroes that are currently in the game right now that have not been seen on the newer leaks. So what we're looking at right now on screen is Deathy's original leak. What got a lot of this conversation started back in May, I think, is when this leak happened. And as you can see on here, we have several heroes kind of in this lab state. So this is Deathy showing at the time a version of the test server that exists only for a few select, I think, high-level players, maybe content creators are on that server, that is not accessible to the public. This was the first time anyone got wind of it, right? And at the time, all of these heroes were in the lab state, right? Since then, we have had several of these heroes, rather, leaked in a new version of the game, still in this test server, where we had 33 total heroes. We covered it in a video here in the channel. Among those included were Bookworm, Doorman, Drifter, Frank, Priest, Punk Goat, obviously with a new model. Skyrunner was not included. Swan was not included. And Vampire Bat was included. So that leaves a few heroes with some major question marks from this list. And I want to talk about what's happening to those heroes, kind of what is next for those heroes, right? And there's a few I want to look at here. So Boho is one that did not make the cut. There's no version of this character in the new leak. I'll put an image of the new leak on screen so you can kind of have that at least to kind of compare quickly. Boho is not included in that, nor is Skyrunner or Swan. So these at the time just had placeholder character icons, but Boho actually had a unique character icon and is no longer obviously included in the new leaks. As well though, Wrecker, Trapper, Raven, and Fathom, the current Hero Labs characters in the game currently, were not featured in the new leaks. So, what is going to happen to these 7 heroes? Are they just lost to Deadlock lore forever? Honestly, it's hard to answer that question. So right now, obviously, the leading kind of presumption, right, is that we're going to have 33 heroes in the next major update, including all of the new ones that are added that I just kind of mentioned. And obviously some new models, different things like that. We've seen this through a new hero roster leak that I've shown on screen, as well as a hero select screen that went on screen that I can put on screen as well. As far as the other heroes, though, it's hard to say. A lot of this boils down to kind of how Deadlock devs are building the game right now, and I want to kind of get into that a little bit and maybe talk about where I think these heroes are going to fall and what's going to happen to them. So I think this actually, to talk about this in justice, we need to go back probably to when Deadlock first leaked. This was in August, September of 2024. So during this time, Deadlock reached a massive player base peak, probably around 130, 140,000 players, I think, concurrent at one time. Not sure on those numbers exactly. But at that point, Valve, what this game is really changed for Valve. I think up to that point, they maybe just planned on constantly making changes to the live version of Deadlock, which is why you had Hero Labs originally in that mode. But then, when you reached a actual concurrent player count that held around maybe 6 to 10,000, there was a need all of a sudden for them to work on things in a more closed setting. So that's when you get the introduction of this private test server, which probably existed long before Deathy leaked it in this image, but now does exist, where changes are made at a much more, with a much smaller sample size before releasing to a public group. This is to keep the normal game kind of flowing in a little bit more stable of a state, while they can take bigger swings with a smaller group in a much more kind of sandbox test server kind of vibe. So as soon as that kind of situation began to exist, a lot of what we see in the live version of the game is going to be off sync from what's happening on the test version. And then the question obviously becomes, are they developing based on what they're seeing in the test realm or what they're seeing in the live version? I think it's clear that both are happening simultaneously. It's not these are mutually exclusive things. The balancing, a lot of the kind of hotfix game state updates, I think, are coming from the live version. But in terms of new additions, I think these are all being tested on the test realm. Meaning that the heroes I mentioned, Boho, Fathom, Raven, Skyrunner, Swan, Trapper, and Wrecker are probably not coming to Deadlock anytime soon. I mean, the 4 that are currently sitting on the main Hero Labs, I think, are being retested, shelved again. These I'm anticipating significant reworks are going to come to these. And then the ones that didn't even make that cut, like Boho, Skyrunner, and Swan, I'm honestly not sure about. These have always existed purely in the test server and never came to public outside of this singular leak, so I really don't know much about them. However, Valve may just have some tricks up their sleeve. These may all be coming with the next major update or even in some kind of open beta form, right? So I don't think people should, if they're really attached to like Wrecker or Fathom, right? I don't think that you should just abandon all hope. I think these heroes clearly had models at least somewhat made, so there's at least been some work put into them. But right now, at least, my speculation is that they will not be included in the next major update. However, it's just speculation. I mainly just wanted to come on here to kind of talk about how Deadlock is being developed right now. There's a lot of questions from casual players who kind of pop in and out of the game of like, where are these Hero Labs heroes that I enjoyed playing a little bit? Why aren't they being updated? Why haven't they been updated since February? It's a perfectly valid set of questions, and if you have no idea that there's this private server happening in the background, it might be confusing to kind of how to approach some of the things happening in the Deadlock live server. So that's really all I wanted to talk about today. This is kind of just a quick video. I wanted to hop on here and give some clarity. I've seen a lot of comments asking about it. I want to kind of always be able to communicate to the viewers directly, people that are asking questions in the comments, be able to answer those things. So as always, really appreciate all of the views, the subscribes, the likes. Everything's been really great to see on the channel. It's been exciting to get into this. There's going to be a lot more coming in terms of kind of my speculating what's next for Deadlock. Honestly, just because I'm so excited about the major update that I just want to come on here and talk about it. So we'll talk about some more about, I mean, this current patch is amazing. There's a lot to talk about there as well. Expect a lot more of that coming in the next few weeks here at the channel. And as always, like I said, thank you all so much for tuning in. And from our house to yours, we'll see you all next time here at Dead Unlocked.